This video on CNS examination is an attempt by me and my residents of the Department of Neurosurgery, Bangalore Medical College, to make a CNS examination simple and systematic. It deals with all the various aspects of CNS examination in a simple and systematic fashion. It is not very exhaustive and comprehensive, which is impractical, but is sufficient and can be practiced by residents in training as well as in their clinical practice. I hope the neurology and neurosurgery residents as well as general medicine residents, among the others, will all find this video useful. Thank you. Today we will talk about the examination of speech in a neurological patient. The examination of speech depends upon the examination of the different components of speech. We start with the spontaneous speech, then go on to comprehension, then we talk about repetition, then we examine the naming, reading, and finally the writing. These are all the various components of speech, and the testing of each speech component will be discussed in detail. In spontaneous speech, there are 4 components that we must assess. The first component is the word output. Usually the word output is anything between 50 to around 100 to 120 words per minute. It can be below that, it can be above that, which is both abnormal. The next component of spontaneous speech is the content of speech. This we assess by talking to the patient in general and find out whether he is speaking relevantly or not. The third component is to look whether there is any dysarthria. Dysarthria basically is a disorder of the articulation of the different muscles required for speech. And the last thing we look at in the component spontaneous speech, the last component is paraphasias. These are basically divided into 3. This semantic paraphasia, where the word is replaced by another word. The second type is a phonemic paraphasia, where similar sounding word or similar sounding syllables are replaced or substituted. And the last is the neologistic paraphasia, where absolutely a new word which has absolutely no meaning is substituted. Good morning. What is your name? Yes. Okay. Where do you stay? What do you do for a living? Okay. And what does your area of work? What does the work constitute?
Seeing patients who are in neurosurgery, seeing whether they need surgery or not, and also participating in neurosurgery.
Can you tell me what is your daily routine?
Daily routine involves
when you get up in the morning, that way onwards. Just tell me the whole routine as quickly as possible.
As soon as I get up, go get freshened up, get ready for my daily activities. Come to hospital, start seeing patients from the entire hospital, which are neurological patients. Then come to the OPD, visit whichever needs opinion, and then go for rounds, either go for operation theatre or sit in the OPD.
As you saw in this examination, his word output is normal, around between 50 to 100 words per minute. There is no difficulty in articulation, so there is no dysarthria. The content of speech is good in the sense he is talking relevantly, telling me about his daily activity and his routine that the daily he follows. As well as there are no paraphasias, whether they are semantic or verbal or phonemic or neologistic. Here I would first like to mention what is the definition of aphasia or dysphasia. Aphasia or dysphasia is an inability to understand and express ideas and thoughts through the mediation of verbal symbols which may be spoken or written. Now, use of gestures is controversial in this definition. The next aspect of speech will be the comprehension. This, as we know, comprehension is situated in the Wernicke's area. So we start testing this from a simple commands to more complicated commands. So we start with pointing commands, then we start with yes or no response, and go on to written commands. Pick up that book in front of you and keep it back. Are you a boy?
Yes.
When do you think it is possible for you to become a neurosurgeon?
Another 3 years.
Is it daylight or is it day or night now?
Day.
We will now go on to written commands for the comprehension. I have written a command in this paper and I am handing it over to him. I have written pick up the bell. So he has picked up the bell correctly. Come this way. The next component of speech is repetition. Repetition is situated in the arcuate fasciculus in the dominant hemisphere. Again, we start with simple repetition of words and syllables to more complicated things. So, in ascending order of difficulty, we start with a monosyllable, then go on to a small word, then longer word, then a small sentence and a long sentence, and finally it may be even a paragraph. We'll start with some monosyllables. Pa,
Pa.
ta,
Ta.
go,
Go.
come,
Come.
bell,
Bell.
financial difficulty.
Financial difficulty.
I am a boy.
I am a boy.
I live in Baswangudi.
I live in Baswangudi.
I live near the police station next to my house.
I live in my house. I live next to the police station in my house.
Okay. Now we go on to a little small paragraph. I am Dr. Balaji Pai. I am the head of Department of Neurosurgery. I live in JP Nagar. I get up in the morning and go to the hospital every day.
I am Dr. Balaji Pai. I am HOD, Department of Neurosurgery. I live in JP Nagar. I get up in the morning and go to work every day.
Thank you. As you saw, he has been able to repeat the monosyllables, the small words, the longer word, small sentence, a longer sentence, and finally a small paragraph consisting of 4 sentences. The next component of speech is naming. This has no specific localization, but naming is something which we again do similarly like other components, starting with easy to the more in ascending order of difficulty. We start with colors, then we start clothing and common objects, then we go on to the parts of the objects, and finally the body parts. So I'll start off in a similar fashion. What is the color?
Pink.
What is this color?
Blue.
What is this?
Key.
What is this?
Bell.
This?
Handkerchief.
What is this?
Top of a pen.
What is this?
Staple.
What is this?
Cover of the sleeve.
Okay. What is this?
Thumb.
What is this?
Nail.
Nail of the thumb or
Thumbnail.
thumb? What is this?
Elbow.
As you can see, he is able to name all the objects in ascending order of difficulty quite correctly. The next component is reading. Here too, we start in an ascending order of difficulty. But there are two things. One is he has to read aloud. Another, he has to not read aloud but follow the command which he has already done in one of the testing, but we will do it again. First we will do the second one, that is written command. What I have written here is unbutton your top button of your shirt. So he has followed the written command well. Next, I will ask him to read short single words, then phrases, and then sentences, and then a paragraph. What is this word?
Preface.
What is this?
Author's note.
Okay, that constitutes words. Then we will go to the phrases. What is this?
Dedicated to all spirituality seekers.
So he is able to tell a phrase, read a phrase. Let us go to a sentence now. Read the first sentence.
Death is the only certain thing in this world.
Okay. Next we will talk about a paragraph. Read the first paragraph. Take it.
Appearances can be deceptive. People in haste make many wrong inferences and decisions and are forced to repent later. Sometimes it is the position and circumstances that make a person a victim of this deception. The following story illustrates this well.
As you can see, all the different components of reading, that is reading a small word followed by phrases, followed by a sentence, followed by a paragraph, is done quite satisfactorily. The last component of speech is writing. So here we again, in a ascending order of difficulty, we ask him to write letters, then followed by numbers, then words, sentences, finally a small paragraph if possible. So we start with letters. Write the letter T. Write the letter A. Write the letter Z. Okay. So that completes letters. Next, numbers. Write the letter 69. Write the letter number 2727. So as you can see, he is doing it quite satisfactorily. We will now move. After letters and numbers, now we go on to words. Book, pen, stapler, bell. Okay. Right, next is the sentence. You can write, I am a boy. I am frustrated with life. Write a small paragraph about your wife. So as you can see, he has written the letters, numbers, words, then a sentence as well as a paragraph about his wife quite legibly, as well as the content is also good and it's normal. We have to now take all these components of speech and get their data in together. In the following chart, we will mention as to what are the different types of dysphasias and what are the characteristics and how the components of speech are affected in each of these dysphasias.
Hello everyone. So after the speech examination, I am going to tell you about the various type of aphasias and the different component of speech involved in that. So here you can see we have drawn a chart for it. Here you see all the components of the speech are there on the one side, and one side the different types of aphasias. So coming to the first one, that is the Broca's aphasias, which is also called as motor aphasia. Here the motor component of the speech is involved more. So you can see the fluency is getting affected most, and it is often associated with dysarthria. Here other components like reading, repetition, naming and writing is also getting impaired, but the content, which is a sensory component, is normal here. Content and comprehension are totally normal in Broca's aphasia. Now coming to Wernicke's aphasia, this is also called as sensory aphasia. Here you can see the most affected component is the content and comprehension. They are very poor. Other than that, repetition, naming, reading and writing are also impaired. But the fluency and word output remains normal in such aphasias. The global aphasia, which is basically a combination of motor and sensory aphasia. So here all the component of the speech are getting affected. You can see that. Coming to mixed partial aphasia, here the content is the one which is affected more compared to other contents of the speech. So everything is affected, but the content is affected more in mixed partial aphasia. Now coming to conduction aphasia. So this is aphasia which is basically due to impairment of the arcuate fasciculus. So in this, the thing which is affected out of proportion is repetition. Although other component of the speech are also getting affected, but this is out of proportion in conduction aphasia. So this repetition also helps us to differentiate the other aphasias like transcortical aphasia, which could be motor predominantly or sensory predominantly involvement. So in both transcortical aphasia, the repetition component of the speech is totally normal. In motor, the more affected part is the motor one, while in sensory aphasia, it is basically the content and comprehension which is affected more. Although other components are also getting affected in transcortical aphasia. Now coming to agraphia and alexia. So as the name implies, agraphia, here the affected component is the writing one. Rest all of components of the speech are normal. While in alexia, it is both writing and reading. These are the two components getting affected, while rest component of the speech are totally normal. So this is a summary of the different kind of aphasias which will help you in speech examination.